Hello, everybody. We can turn me down, I think. I could probably shout that loud. Welcome to Meet Magento Philippines. That is the appropriate response. Now, who here has been to Meet Magento Philippines before? There's no hands, because this is the very, very first time. I want to give a special thanks to Dev Team for taking this on, bringing us all here together. Who here is from Manila? Anyone from Manila? There have to be a few of you from Manila. It's okay. Put your hands up. Okay. Good. I'm not from Manila. Visiting from the States already. I want to give a warm welcome to the event. I'm hoping that my slides will work. Anyway, I'm just going to talk. Who here was already familiar with Meet Magento? I know a few of us are. Right, this is a worldwide event series. That's me. Those are all my superlatives there. I've been around for a little while. Part of the reason I'm here is because for many years I served as the head of the ecosystem, kind of the chief evangelist at Magento. Actually, it started out at eBay, and then it was Magento, and then it was Adobe. And then while, I think during the Magento Adobe days, I was one of the founders of the Magento Association. And Ollie, who is really, the force of nature behind this event, or one of the forces of nature behind this event, is going to talk a little bit more about the Magento Association and why, if you're in this room, you should be involved. So, what exactly are we here for? Well, you are now, whether you know it or not, part of an amazing history. And this history goes all the way back to the early days of Magento. This is all the way back in 2009, when Magento was just starting out. It was just a tiny little company in Los Angeles, California. But it was starting to take over like wildfire, just organically, spreading throughout Europe. And some enterprising Germans and Dutch, both of whom claim to have had the first Meet Magento event, got together, and they had a market-specific event around Magento. And since that time, this event series has covered 35 countries or more. I actually probably have miscounted. I was going down memory lane yesterday trying to recount most of it. I've been to most of those. I had a brief stint at Shopware, which was kind of a competitor to Magento. And so I obviously didn't attend very many back then. But you're also, more than just being part of this amazing series, you're part of an amazing ecosystem. So if you are here, again, even if this is your first time in kind of experiencing the Magento world, you should really be aware that you're getting to take part of something really, really special. Magento was created to transform how e-commerce was done. And it truly delivered on that image. And that came straight from the founder. And that kind of transformation doesn't happen without an amazing ecosystem growing around it. You can put out a really good product, you can put out really good messaging, but you have to connect with the people. And then most importantly, you have to have the people, help the people connect with each other. And that's that's the ultimate reason why you're here. And this is the one thing, if there's nothing else you take away from this event, and I hope you do take away a lot of good information, because there's a lot of really experienced, really smart people who are going to be speaking on this stage after me. And they're going to be sharing a lot of hard-earned lessons and a lot of wisdom that you can take back to the jobs that you do every day. But I want you to take this away from my presentation, and that is simply, it is time to make sure that you are networking with each other. Because this is how I think we help the rest of the world recognize just how much Magento and commerce and IoT is happening here in the Philippines. And it really comes down to opportunity. So for me, networking and opportunity are pretty much hand in hand. You look at some of the stats about the region. Almost $600 billion in global IT outsourcing. That's the total market for it worldwide. 13% of that right here in the Philippines. That's going to 800 billion by 2030, right? So you think about that level of growth, and you think about the opportunities that might present themselves to you, right? The world really is your oyster. And then also just your own Filipino e-commerce economy here. It's growing as well at a pretty steady pace. You're about 28 billion and pretty diverse sectors. You can find all of these stats, by the way, on Statista. 28 billion this year, growing to 37 billion by 2030. Again, there's a tremendous amount of opportunity. And I think here also in Philippines, it's really interesting because you have such a really connected population, right? And people want to do these things online. And I think one of the things that I haven't seen in my career, and I've spent a good part of my career helping people meet each other, is that there is plenty of opportunity, again, to meet the person next to you, the person behind you. Make sure you're having conversations. Make sure you're not just surrounding yourself with people that you know, right? Because, you know, I like to say that the, you know, your next founder, co-founder, to be in this room. Your next best employee, your path to a promotion, everything can take place right inside this room. Now, one of the things that I also like to point out is that it's a fact, I've seen it in my own career, and maybe many of you have as well, that most of the time, the next business opportunity or your next customer or your next promotion, like these all come from within 1 degree of separation. Right? So you basically get your next opportunity from someone you know. And how do you expand your opportunity? By expanding the number of people that you know and the number of people that you're truly connected with. So my call to action for you all, very simply, before I turn it over to my good friend Ollie, find the networks and the networkers, right? So if you know people who are already building communities of value here, centers of excellence around anything it is, whatever it is, whatever the industry. If it's Magento, look for people who are working with certifications. Entrepreneurs in general, if you have organizations around programming languages or technologies, crypto, I don't care what it is, engage. Get out and actually engage. And get out and engage now, if you're not already doing it. The sooner you start doing this, the better off. The better off, the faster you'll move. And the most important thing, this is actually something that we talked about a lot, probably about 15 years ago in the PHP ecosystem. There's a kind of a legend in the business called Uncle Cal Evans, and one thing he would always leave his presentations with, and I'll kind of quote him here or paraphrase him, and that is that if you're looking for the network, if you're looking for the meetup, if you're looking for that place where you can meet the people to talk about the things that you care about, or to give some kind of value, right? Because networking is a two-way street. But if you're looking for it and you're not finding it, guess what? You're the organizer. And it's pretty easy these days to start up a meetup, to get people interested. There's plenty of co-working opportunities, co-working spaces. It's pretty easy to find your tribe, help make your tribe, and bring them together in one common area. That's all I have. That's the easiest conference introduction you're going to get today.